So I'm always looking for cheap deals on the internet, and I was looking at this sort of Raspberry Pi things, and there's this Odroid, and I've heard about these like clone Raspberry Pi boards, and this one's for like $20, which is a pretty good deal. That came with an SD card. So I was having a hard time believing this, but here's one of those Amazon USB digital microscopes that was sort of like $5, and that's kind of like a new low. So I didn't know what to expect there at all. So this Odroid C1 Plus is in a lot of ways better than early Raspberry Pis, although not as good as later Raspberry Pis. But it did cost again $20, and it came with an SD card. A lot of these devices use RISC CPUs, that is reduced instruction set computer CPUs, and they inherently, I think their internals don't use microcode; they're more direct, and thus they have less heat. So in summertime, I like to take my bike to get things, but it is like -10. So what I did was, what I do sometimes is I go out on a bus or the train, and then I come back immediately. And the way it works in our city is that it counts as one ride, so it's only like $4. So what I did was I took the train out, or our LRT, out to the end of its current line, which was about where this guy was. You see, there's three blue pluses there. One is my home, one is the first item, and the second is the second item. And I went to the end there, and the dots are when I'm walking, right? So I walked to the first guy because I took the train because that'd be more reliable. And so I got the thing, and then in about 20 minutes, I got a bus that went past my house towards the second item, at which point the person was nice. And so I would have walked up and got it, but the person was nice enough to come down. It wasn't like totally where she lived, but it was somewhere close. You can see that the plus on the right hand side. So what I did is I just walked home, and I managed to get both things using one fare. So I missed a live capture moment, but I did have some trouble, so it wasn't so bad that that didn't work. What happened was you can power this through this micro USB connector, or you can power it through this jack. And I assumed that I'd be able to have something that could plug in here, but it looks like it's actually smaller than anything I've seen so far. So what happened was, originally I used this this Apple charger, and I assumed that'd be good enough. And it's like for 1 amp, and things started, like, I plugged in various USB things, and things started like turning off, and the screens going off, and various USB devices were going off. And so then I tried this other charger. I got this other charger in the, actually I found this in my mailroom at my condo, my mailroom. And I've been using that to power this this thing here, which I also got for like $5. And what I've decided to do here is not charge the battery, but just run it off of this. And it's really designed to charge the battery, but it works off of here. The keyboard works off the power, so I've just been using it that way. So it turns out that the day before Christmas, this monitor shows up in the garbage room, and it's a good monitor, but it's only VGA. It's an HD monitor. It's only has only VGA input, and it's got kind of a wash, what do they call it, contrast ratio. So it's always a little bit kind of illuminated, and this viewing angle is kind of a little bit, I mean, it's not great, but it's kind of like a backup, where I'd use it like if the other one stopped working, but the other one is just sort of better, so that's why I don't use this. But it's a nice monitor. I like the look of it. So what I did here was I usually have like HDMI stuff, right? And although there's some DisplayPort, I'm generally using HDMI. And what I did is I went to the store and got this like $15 converter, and what it does is it takes power from the HDMI and actually converts a digital HDMI signal into a analog VGA signal, and it's only rated for 1080p, and it does a really good job. I was actually really impressed because I didn't know if that was going to work. But here there's an HDMI cable, an extender, a converter, and the VGA cable. So I totally wasn't expecting it, but MPlayer was already installed on this computer, and I suppose maybe it's through HDMI you get audio, but I'm not expecting it's going to have audio, right? But because MPlayer treats, like you said, TV, it treats like a video for Linux input as TV. I'm able to use this microscope. I think it's at 640 by 40, and it actually does. I'm pleasantly impressed, but I thought it was garbage when I first saw it. I said, "What is this?" But the idea is you have to get like super close to anything you're looking at. Okay, it's in focus. There, focus. Yeah. So there's like this magic kind of range that it works in, but that's not bad. I mean, I'm impressed. It's a $5 microscope. So just now I've been trying to reprogram the SD card that was in that Odroid, and what happened was these are some items I had around that I thought maybe I could program with. But the trouble is I don't have anything that can program these higher, whatever they are, these higher kind of density cards, flash media. So what happened was on the internet they had these free, and it said 128 gigabyte flash drives, right? And they definitely don't work. They screw up if you go over 64 gigabytes. They start writing themselves over again. But when I took one apart, I noticed that it has its own, like this is the one that was originally in it, right? This its own flash ROM there, and basically what it is it's a flash card reader that's USB, and it's like it's like 5-in-1 or whatever, and it's got a microcontroller. I suppose it's programmed. So it's got a microcontroller that's programmed as a card reader for USB. I assume that's how it works. And one thing that I found that's useful for is programming this particular media, because I can actually use it to do that. It plugged into my computer and read the thing into my computer. So I'm going to reprogram it, just see if I got the technique down. I've got some images that I can burn. And I'll worry about resizing drives or using specific utilities that grow drives at a later time. But for now, I'll just burn the image straight and see if I can boot off of it. So I burnt that SD card in that other thing I was mentioning, and it didn't take very long. So, hey, it's pretty good. Anyway, but then I thought, well, maybe it won't be that hard to resize the second partition. So I was looking around, there's something called Resize 2FS. And basically what you have to do is you have to make the partition bigger and then run resize 2FS, and it will just correct it. But what seemed to be the case is you didn't really have to do anything. It just sort of used the size of the partition to guide it in this case, because it had the same block size. So that's what this output is going over. Okay, well, what's happened at this point was basically I was doing a test to see if I could boot up this disk that I just burnt, and I actually enlarged the partition on. And with different monitors would do different things. These monitors were VGA monitors after the converter. I actually kind of did worse on the ones that had the connection to the HDMI. So maybe it did better, that's kind of stretching it, after I specified what the screen size was actually more than the screen size. As it seems to want to be true HD, but it's not really. So I guess it's kind of confused, but for the time being, it isn't really messing up. Usually it kept on going blank, right? The numbers are kind of hard to interpret there, but it appears to have all the size it's supposed to have. So I have to maybe get my wireless going to my network, and then I can install the things I need to compile, utilities I want, and then I'll back that all up to a disk and burn it, and that'll be it. But hopefully this thing's working, but it is giving me a lot of trouble on the video.